Teamster Power 767 Reality Check with Jeff Schenfeld and Garfield Hooper. How's it going today, Garfield?
It's going pretty good. Real rainy day
Yeah,
outside. Really put a damper on my plans for the day.
yeah. It always does. It always does. But but uh, but the show goes on, right?
Oh yeah,
So
always.
yeah, yep, absolutely. So today we're going to talk about extra contract agreements. Um, that's Article 6, Section 1, and extra contract agreements. That is something that just bothers me. It does. It's the company tries to get into it, into agreements, and they'll get with someone who might be like, okay, and then they'll agree to, well, if you're like, if a combo, you reduce the second part of my job and let me do something else, then I'll do this for you. We can't do that.
No,
We can't do those things. I mean, that's the language is the language. You bid on a job, you do it, no matter what it is, like anything else. It's like package, like feeders, like combo, anything. You got to do that job. You can't try to make it better for yourself, you know? So, but Garfield, why don't you read the language?
oh yeah. Let's see here. Article 6, Section 1. Except as may otherwise provided in this agreement, the employer agrees to not enter into or attempt to enter into any agreement or contract with its employees, either individually or collectively, or to require or attempt to require employees to sign any document, either individually or collectively, which in any way conflicts with the provisions of this agreement. And any such agreement or document shall be null and void. Any such agreement or document may not be placed in any employee's file or used by the employer as a basis for discipline, or used in connection with any disciplinary proceedings, nor may any such agreement or document, nor the contents thereof, be divulged to any person or entity. In addition, the company will not discipline an employee for refusing to sign any company form related to the principle of a fair day's pay, a fair day's work, unless the signing is required by law or by this agreement.
Yeah. So, um, I guess we'll talk about it since you're going through it now. Uh, one extra contract agreement is the lunches,
Yep.
them telling you to clock out to drive
Yes.
to lunch. Now, did you get clarity yesterday at the meeting?
Kind of. I mean, I got clarity on what I was supposed to do, and I
Yeah.
believe I got clarity on what's expected of the drivers. But
Hmm.
I mean, it wasn't 100% clear. But I'm going to do what I can with what I have. But
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
asking me as a steward to come in and represent a member and sign a document that's extra contractual, I'm not going to do that. Like, that's my right as a steward. I have to sign disciplines to, if for
Hmm.
no other reason than to prove that I was there for the issuing of the discipline. Me
Yeah.
signing a discipline doesn't mean I agree with it, but I'm required to be present when a discipline is issued. So I have to sign it, much like a member of management has to sign it. And then as a steward, I RTS for the member. But like the lunches, I don't sign those. Those aren't disciplines. It's a policy that we don't recognize. It has a small section of it has contractual language, but the rest of it does not. So that, to me, that is an extra contractual agreement. So I'm not going to put pen to paper and that if they want to do something now, I think that these are being put in their files, which would also violate Article 6.
Yeah.
That's much why many reasons why we're encouraging everyone, if they get approached by management with these papers,
Yeah.
to file an Article 6,
Yeah.
because it needs to be stated that, hey, this is an extra contractual agreement. I don't agree to this. It shouldn't be put in my file. I shouldn't have to abide by it, for many reasons, least of all the fact that it's illegal to ask me to drive a commercial vehicle off the clock. Another one
They're
though,
trying to make it policy, but
they're
it's not
trying
going to
to,
be policy.
right.
Yeah, it's.
And
I mean,
here's the thing.
yeah,
They're trying
yeah,
to do this. They're trying to intimidate people. Be like, oh, we're going to fire you. You know, we're going to write you up. All of this stuff. It's all management ever is. Um, they're trying to get enough people to do it to be like, oh, people are doing it, so must be okay.
yeah,
And that's
yes,
why people have to
yeah,
fight back about this. And people have to file the
absolutely.
grievances. People have to, like, once again, I'm not going to ask anybody to possibly put their job in jeopardy. I'm willing to
Yeah,
do that because I'm a fighter. I always have been. Like, I don't
yeah,
do that bullshit. And
yep,
and other people have more important responsibilities that, they go to work every day and deal with that stuff. I'm not asking anybody to put their neck out. That's what I'm here for. I'm willing to do that, so I'm going to do it. But
yeah,
another example of this was last year. Uh, they were trying to get everybody to sign a piece of paper at the end of their day if they were coming in under 8 hours so that they could be changed to code 5, which, if you're not familiar, is the pay actual code, which means you
yeah,
only get paid for the time you worked. You don't get your guarantee.
hmm, yep,
And we actually, our local won a big case on that and got, a bunch of people paid out for it because that was an extra contractual agreement. But
hmm,
you know, to me, this is much more difficult because, like, they're not going to be able to track that. If people are clocking out to drive to lunch, you're talking like, is the company gonna go back and check and see how long you spent driving when you file that grievance? No, people are just losing out on wages at this point. And then on top of it, with us going into summer, people
yeah,
are, losing time on their break when time they would be in a cool zone, getting recharged to go back out there and continue doing it in the hot day. They're losing that
yep.
time because the company's saying, oh, well, you've got to clock out to drive to lunch now.
It's a stress too. I mean,
Yeah.
the people get stressed about things, and
Yeah.
it's they come at drivers and they just oh, let's just go with the drivers. Let's just you realize there's a lot of things going on. You just want to do what you want to do, and that's another thing. I mean, it's everything. It's everything during the day, and we have to try to help minimize what the company does. You want to go at someone and tell them, like they told the driver, he could have made his error. Everything came down late, but he could have made his error. But the supervisor who was riding with him said, "No, just do you. We're going to have you do ground and air together." And he's like, "Well, no." But then he's like, "I instruct you." Okay, well, let them. If they instruct you, then do what they tell you, as long as it's not unsafe or unethical. But why would they do that? He could have made the air. So, so it was that supervisor's judgment to do that, which is not the methods,
No.
right? So, and that change, that's like, okay, so you want us to follow methods, but you're breaking the methods. And everything's, there's root causes for all this stuff. And, oh, you want them to sign for lunch for this. You want them to, sign that you read this. No, we're not going to sign anything. They want us to put our name to everything. So, they want us, do they have you signing a computer after they do a ride along with the driver?
Not to my knowledge.
It's in a computer, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I have Adobe Fill and Sign. So I said to my supervisor, okay, I have my grievance in here. Will you sign my Adobe Fill and Sign? He goes, sure. And then he goes, wait, what? What? Yeah, I mean, you want me to sign on a computer? I'll have you sign on my phone. It's like a computer. Why don't you just sign my grievance? And he's like, well, wait a minute. Well, no, wait a minute. You're having me sign. You want me to sign the computer? What's good for you? It's not just good for you. So, but we talked about it, and he understood. He
Yeah.
understood, and I mean, they can't just do what they want, but it's everything. You see, it's everything. It's the little things, and with the summer coming up, with the heat already here, actually, it gets to people and they don't realize it. And that's what I try to tell these supervisors and managers. The stress they're putting people under adds to everything
Yeah.
on top of it. And but people have to resist trying to do the extra contract agreements.
Yes.
If it's going to benefit them and do certain things, we just can't do that. It's means if that's the case, if you do that, you possibly violating someone's seniority, right? I mean, you just have to do the right thing. You always have to do the right thing. So it's you know, and the stewards, and I mean, a lot of stewards aren't trained to deal with this, and that's a problem also. Speaking with the members, speaking with management, speaking together, trying to get these things resolved where it's not combative. It's like, wait, look what you're doing here. You point these things out to management, and if they don't want to listen, then you escalate it a little bit, and you do what you have to do. It's just everything is, and they're so afraid of losing their jobs. Management, they're taking it out on the employees, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's bad all over. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about the extra contract agreements, and we can't be doing those, and especially with the lunches, like you're saying, by you. um but that's it. So if anyone wants to take a look at it, Article 6, Section 1.
Yep.
So, but all right, well, for myself and Garfield, just want to thank you on another episode for watching, and we will see you soon. All right, bye.
Later. We all deal with national language, but on this podcast, when it comes to supplemental language, we deal mostly with the southern region. And as always, it's best to get advice from your local stewards or business agents. If you would like to reach out to us with any questions, we have an email address, 767realitycheck@gmail.com. That's 767realitycheck@gmail.com.
And remember, strong people stand up for themselves, but the strongest people stand up for others.